Let's rank the top 10 best WWE Women's Champions of all time. Now, keep in mind that this will include Women's Champion, Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, Divas Champion, right? Women's World Champion, Women's Champion now, okay? So let's just keep that in mind because it can get a little diluted. Number 10, and some of you guys are gonna hate this right off the bat, but at number 10, it's gonna be Liv Morgan. Now, she's had 2 championship reigns as of the recording of this video. 1-time SmackDown Women's Champion and currently the Women's World Champion. Her underdog story has resonated with the fans, and her 2022 SmackDown Women's Championship victory cemented her as a fan favorite. And it caused outrage among fans because we did not get to see a long reign. She had fewer reign than others, but her title win and defense against Ronda Rousey, well, they were significant moments of her career. Now, 2024, her career has absolutely taken off in a big, big way, and she has been a key part of Monday Night Raw throughout 2024. Number 9, Mickie James. Mickie James is a 5-time Women's Champion, 1-time Divas Champion. Mickie had multiple memorable reigns in WWE and one of the most well-rounded and respected women's champions of her era. Her rivalry with Trish Stratus is still fondly remembered, and she has been able to maintain a high level of performance across different eras in different promotions. Her TNA runs has been very underrated. What she was able to do for that company and that division, as well being a pioneer of women's wrestling, you got to give her mad respect for it. And I think it's something that you need to keep in mind, because when we talk about pioneers, when we talk about Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling, I think Mickie James should be right up there with the who's who. Number 8, and some of you guys are going to disagree, but it's Ronda Rousey. Yes, she's a 3-time women's champion across Raw and SmackDown. Ronda, she brought mainstream attention to WWE's women's division, and her transition from being a UFC megastar to a WWE champion was seamless. Her intense physicality and star power made her a dominant champion and a major attraction during her runs. Now, her latter run that ended in 2023, well, it sucked. We all know that. It felt like a shell of her old self. But her first run in the company, her first year with WWE, was historic. It was memorable, and it led to the first ever women's WrestleMania main event when her, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair were to triple threat at WrestleMania 35 in 2019, seeing Becky Lynch walk out as the champion. Ronda has been very outspoken about the company and Vince McMahon and others. It's highly unlikely that she will ever return and wrestle again, but while she was there, she had a pretty good run. Number 7, Sasha Banks, a.k.a. Mercedes Moné. Now, while in WWE, she was a 6-time women's champion. Sasha's mix of in-ring skills, charisma, ability to deliver big matches makes her one of the most respected women's champions in WWE history. She was also instrumental in the women's revolution, especially her feud with Charlotte Flair and their iconic Hell in a Cell match. Her, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Mercedes Moné, obviously, and Bayley making up the women's 4 horsewomen. Well, it will go down as one of the most impactful factions in the history of pro wrestling today. For 6, it is Asuka. She's a 3-time women's champion that includes Raw and SmackDown reigns, as well as a 1-time NXT women's champion. Known for her, known for her undefeated streak in NXT and her stiff, intense wrestling style, Asuka has been a consistent force in WWE's women's division, and she is a beloved figure by fans for her incredible in-ring work and always brings credibility to any title reign that she has or any role that she has. If you think about it, she was able to bridge the gap in a lot of ways from the Japanese style to the American style, and being able to have a impactful run in NXT as well as the main roster and instant connection regarding whether or not she was a babyface or a heel. I think that's pretty impressive. Up next at number 5, it is Bayley. She's a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion and a one-time Raw Women's Champion. Bayley has reinvented herself multiple times, from a beloved hugger persona to her more recent role in WWE, where it really started in 2019 for her as a heel and obviously now as a babyface. Her record-breaking SmackDown Women's Championship reign of 380 days solidified her as one of the division's most dominant champion. She is the ultimate underrated star. She's the ultimate utility player in a lot of ways, and someone that I don't think gets enough credit for the impact in which she's had on the pro wrestling industry. Number 4, it's Becky Lynch. She's a 6-time women's champion, and she became a household name during her meteoric rise as the man in 2018, ultimately leading to her historic reign as champion, because she, as I previously mentioned, was one of the participants in the first ever all-women's WrestleMania main event, WrestleMania 35, and she's really one of the only few women to have transcended the pro wrestling industry and made it into Hollywood with notable acts. While, yes, she is away currently, I think eventually she will make a return to WWE and will do so in a major way, because she is no doubt a megastar for this company, for this industry, and is a household name regardless. Number 3, we have Lita. She's a 4-time women's champion. She was a trailblazer for women's wrestling, known for her high-flying, risk-taking style that redefined what women could do in the ring. Her rivalry with Trish Stratus remains one of the most iconic rivalries in WWE history. I mean, heck, they main evented Monday Night Raw at a time which was just couldn't even be fathomed, but they did that. Lita, she has come so far, so long, from her managerial style with the Hardy Boys, getting physical with the other, male wrestlers in terms of taking their moves, their finishers, taking some wicked spots. Lita, she's done all of that, and I think it is someone that fans should look back on as a pioneer of this business and as someone who helped move women's pro wrestling. Pay attention to this when it comes to Charlotte Flair's upcoming WWE return. In this video, I'm going to break it down, because Charlotte Flair has been out of action since December of 2023, torn ACL, MCL, PCL. It's a nasty injury. But I was thinking to myself, all right, Charlotte Flair, she's going to be returning. She's going to be returning in a big way, big spot, big star. She has so many opponents to work with. We have Jay Cargill. We have Tiffany Stratton, which is a dream match. Then you have the rise of Liv Morgan. And oh, by the way, you can revisit the history between her and Rhea Ripley. I cannot wait to see the Queen back inside of a WWE ring. Number 1, I went back and forth on this, but I think you have to put Trish Stratus on this list at number 1. She's a 7-time women's champion. She is widely regarded as one of the greatest, if not the GOAT, of women's wrestling of all time. Her mix of in-ring ability and charisma helped elevate WWE's women's division in the early 2000s. Her feuds with the likes of Lita, Mickie James, Victoria, and others, well, they're legendary. And then she has also come back on a part-time basis and had some memorable matches as well, whether it be against Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch, or help elevating Zoe Stark. Trish Stratus, whether it's a babyface or a heel, whether it's a full-timer or a part-timer, she does it better than anyone. And she's done it in a shorter period of time than anyone in regards to her full-time success. She had to overcome the weirdo mentality of Vince McMahon when it comes to women's wrestling and not booking them as the men at a time where they were just looked at as eye candy.